I'm Dr. Raymond Sinclair, and this is Senior Strength. I spent 26 years as a physical therapist working with adults in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and there is one thing I heard almost every single week, said in almost the same words: Doctor, I just don't feel steady on my feet the way I used to. Maybe you feel it as a little sideways wobble when you turn around in the kitchen. Maybe it's that small catch step you take when you step off a curb, or when you reach out to the side for something and your weight lands on one foot. And maybe it's a quieter feeling that your legs simply are not as strong or as sure underneath you as they were a few years ago. I want you to hear me clearly right at the start. That unsteady feeling is not a sign that you are falling apart, and it is not simply the price of getting older. In most cases, it is a specific problem. One particular set of leg muscles has gone quiet, and it has a specific, gentle answer. Today I am going to take you through the single most important leg exercise I know for staying steady on your feet, and a short routine built right around it. Everything is senior safe. Most of it we do standing with a chair for support, and there is a seated version of every single move, so nobody is left out. All you need is a sturdy chair and a little space beside it, so let's get you set up. Before we move a muscle, let me explain why this happens, because when you understand it, the whole routine makes sense. On the side of each hip, you have a muscle called your gluteus medius, and that simply means the muscle on the outer side of your hip and buttock. It has one very important job. Every time you shift your weight onto one leg, every step you take, every time you turn, that muscle switches on and holds your pelvis level so you don't tip to the side. Think of it as the muscle that catches you sideways. After the age of 70, something called sarcopenia, the slow muscle loss that begins back in our 40s, quietly weakens that outer hip muscle, especially if you have been sitting more than you used to. And here is the important part. When it goes quiet, your pelvis dips a little each time you step, and your body has to throw out a quick catch step to stay upright. That is the wobble. That is the sideways stumble. At the same time, the big muscles of your thighs and buttocks lose power, so there is less in reserve to catch yourself if you start to tip. So the unsteadiness is not damage, it is understrength. The fix is exactly what we are going to do today. Wake up that outer hip and rebuild the leg strength around it, so your legs hold you steady again. There is no age at which you are too old to rebuild this. Your body is listening, and today we start. Let's begin with a gentle warm-up. Standing behind your chair, rest both hands lightly on the back of it for balance. Stand nice and tall, feet about hip-width apart. Now we are simply going to march on the spot, slowly. Lift one knee just a little way up, set it down, then the other. Nothing high, nothing fast. Do about 10 on each side, easy and smooth, and breathe naturally the whole time. The reason we start here is that marching gently raises your temperature, gets a little blood flowing into the very muscles we are about to work, and tells your nervous system that we are getting ready to move. If standing tires you, sit down and march right there in the chair. Lifting the knees a small way is just as good. Nice and slow. Great work. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Now sit down toward the front half of your chair, feet flat on the floor, and let's loosen the joints before we ask them to work. First, lift one foot just off the ground and roll the ankle slowly in a circle, a few times one way, a few times the other, then swap to the other foot. This gets the fluid moving so the ankle feels oiled and ready. Then, sitting tall, straighten one knee out in front of you until the leg is nearly straight. Feel the front of your thigh gently wake up and lower it back down slowly. Do the same with the other leg and go back and forth, about 10 in total, nice and easy. This gently warms the big thigh muscle on the front of your leg, the one that helps hold you up, and it wakes the knee before we load it. Keep every movement slow and comfortable. If anything feels stiff, shrink the range and stay gentle. There is no forcing here, ever. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Now it is time for the headline exercise, the number one move in today's whole session, and the single most important thing I can teach you for staying steady on your feet. It is the standing side leg lift, and it strengthens that outer hip muscle we just talked about, the pelvis leveler that catches you sideways. Stand tall behind your chair, both hands resting lightly on the back of it. Now, keeping your body straight and your toes pointing forward, not turned up toward the ceiling, Slowly lift one leg out to the side, just a small way, leading with your heel, then lower it back down with control. The secret is to keep your upper body still and tall. Don't lean away over the other side to hoist the leg up. A small, honest lift from the hip is worth far more than a big swing. Do about 10 on this side, then switch to the other leg. This is the exact muscle that has gone quiet, and this is the move that wakes it and builds it back. The one that stops the sideways wobble more than any other. If you feel any sharp pinch in the hip, only lift the leg an inch, or do this exact move sitting down, sliding the leg out to the side along the floor. The gentle version still works beautifully. Feel that outer hip working to lift and lower. That is the muscle that keeps you steady. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's work the back of the hip now because steadiness comes from both sides. Stay standing tall behind your chair, both hands on the back of it. This move is the standing back leg lift, and it wakes up your gluteus maximus. And by that, I just mean the big muscle of your buttock, the powerful one that pushes you upright and drives you forward. Keeping your body tall and your standing knee soft, slowly lift one leg straight back behind you, just a small way, squeezing the buttock as the leg goes back, then lower it with control. The important thing is to keep the movement small and to not arch your lower back to cheat the leg higher. Stand tall and let the buttock do the lifting. Do about 10, then switch legs. When this big muscle is strong and switched on, it gives you the power to catch yourself, to climb a step, and to stand up without a struggle. It is a huge part of staying independent on your feet. Keep both hands on the chair and keep it gentle. If your balance feels at all uncertain, make the lift tiny. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Now let's teach your legs to catch your weight on purpose with a gentle side-to-side weight shift. Stand tall behind your chair, hands resting on it, feet a little wider than your hips, both feet planted flat and staying on the floor the whole time. Slowly shift your weight over onto your right leg, letting that right hip and thigh take the load. Feel them switch on to hold you, then slowly shift all the way across onto your left leg. Right and left, slow and smooth, about 10 shifts in total. Nothing lifts off the floor here. We are simply loading one leg fully, then the other, teaching those outer hip and thigh muscles to accept your weight and hold you steady, which is exactly what they must do in real life every time you turn or step to the side. Stay tall, keep breathing, and let each shift be calm and controlled. If it feels like a lot, make the shift smaller and hold the chair a little firmer. Feel each leg quietly take charge as your weight arrives on it. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Next, we are going to build a little leg power with a gentle mini knee bend. Stay standing behind your chair, both hands resting on it, feet about hip width apart, standing tall. Now, keeping your chest up and your weight in your heels, bend your knees just a small way, a shallow, comfortable dip, as if you were beginning to lower into a chair but stopping very early. Then push down through your heels and stand tall again, gently squeezing your buttocks at the top, small and slow, about 10 of them. This is not about going low. It is about waking the big muscles at the front and back of your thighs so they have real strength in reserve. The strength that catches you if you stumble and carries you up from chairs and stairs. Keep the bend shallow and always keep both hands on the chair. If your knees feel at all uncomfortable, make the dip even smaller. Even a tiny bend builds the muscle. Feel your thighs and buttocks working together to lift you back to tall. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Here is our last strengthening move, and it trains the one thing that saves you when your balance is truly tested, the quick protective step. Stand tall behind your chair, both hands on it for safety. Now, staying tall, tap one foot out to the side, just a comfortable step out, letting the toes touch the floor, and then bring it straight back in beside the other foot. Out and back in. Do about 8 on this side, then switch and do the other side. Keep it controlled. This is not a jump and it is not fast. It is a calm, deliberate step out and a calm step back. What you are practicing is the exact reaction your body needs when your weight suddenly shifts too far. The ability to put a foot out quickly and confidently to catch yourself instead of tipping. That protective step is one of the great secrets of staying on your feet. If you feel unsure, make the tap tiny and keep most of your weight on your planted foot and both hands firmly on the chair. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Before we cool down, here is our finishing move, and it is the seated version of everything we have done. So if standing has tired you, or if you would simply rather be in the chair, this is your whole session in one comfortable spot. Sit tall toward the front of your chair, feet flat on the floor. First, lift one leg and slide the foot out to the side along the floor and back in, gently working that outer hip while seated. Do a few on each side. Then rest your hands on the outsides of your knees and gently press your knees outward against your own hands. Feeling the outer hips switch on, hold for a moment, and release. Do that a few times. This gives you the same outer hip muscle firing without any standing at all, and it is a real exercise, not a lesser one. Many of my patients do this seated version daily and grow steadier for it. Keep every movement small and controlled, and breathe the whole way through. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it out. Let's bring the session to a close with two gentle cool-down stretches, both seated, both soothing for the hips and legs you just worked. The first is a gentle outer hip stretch. Sitting tall toward the front of your chair, lift your right ankle and rest it gently across your left thigh, just above the knee, so your right knee opens out to the side. Now, keeping your back tall, lean forward just a little from the hips until you feel a soft, pleasant stretch deep in your right outer hip and buttock. Hold it there for about 30 seconds, breathing slowly and normally. Do not hold your breath and never force it. Then gently switch and do the left side for another 30 seconds. If resting the ankle on the thigh is too much for your hip today, simply let the knee ease out to the side with the foot still on the floor. You will feel it either way. This gently lengthens the very muscle that worked hardest for you today, and it feels wonderful. A good stretch here should feel like relief, never like strain. Our very last movement is a gentle seated side bend to lengthen the sides of your body and settle everything down. Sit tall, feet flat on the floor, both hands resting on your thighs. Now, staying facing straight forward, do not lean backward and do not twist. Slowly slide your right hand a little way down the outside of your right leg, letting your body bend gently to the right and feel a soft stretch up the left side of your waist and trunk. Come back up tall, and then do the same to the other side. Do this slowly, a couple of times each way, and let every bend be small and easy. These side muscles quietly help stabilize you all day long, and giving them a gentle stretch leaves your whole trunk feeling loose and comfortable. Never force the bend, keep it soft and small, and with that, our session is complete. You just did something powerful. You woke up the outer hip muscle that levels your pelvis and catches you sideways. You strengthened the big muscles of your buttocks and thighs that give you the power to stay upright. You practiced shifting your weight and stepping to catch yourself. And you finished by gently stretching everything you worked. That is a complete leg strength session, and every part of it was chosen to be safe and doable for a body over 70. Now here is the plan going forward, because the secret is not doing this hard. It is doing it often. Do this session, or even just the side leg lifts and the weight shifts on their own, most days of the week. Little and often is what changes a pair of legs. Do it 3 or 4 times a week, and within 2 to 3 weeks, most of my patients tell me the same thing. The wobble is smaller, turning around feels surer, and stepping off a curb no longer gives them that little jolt of worry. That is not wishful thinking. That is your outer hips and your leg muscles finally holding you the way they were built to. I have put this entire routine together for you. Every exercise name, the gentle rep counts, the form reminders, the seated alternatives, and a simple weekly progress tracker into a short, free guide. The link is in the description below this video and in the pinned comment. It costs nothing, and it will help you stay consistent and follow along between our sessions together. Before I let you go, I would love to hear from you in the comments. Do you feel that little wobble more when you turn around, or more when you step off a curb or reach out to one side? Those two moments lean on slightly different muscles, and knowing which one catches you out helps me guide you. Tell me below. I read every comment. And one last thing, which I always include because I truly mean it, Please check with your own doctor or physical therapist before starting any new exercise program, and especially if you have had a recent hip or knee replacement, a fall you were hurt in, low blood pressure that makes you lightheaded when you stand, or any condition affecting your balance that your doctor is already managing. Keep that sturdy chair beside you the whole time. Move only in a range that feels comfortable, and stop any exercise right away if you feel sudden or sharp pain. A gentle working feeling in the muscles is exactly right. Sharp pain is your body asking you to pause and check in with the professional who knows your history. These movements are designed to be gentle and safe for most adults over 70, but your own picture matters most. If today's session helped you feel a little steadier on your feet, please subscribe to Senior Strength so you do not miss what comes next. Every episode is built for exactly where you are right now, not where you were 30 years ago, and not for anyone but you. I will see you in the next one.